Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Vega from SerpentX Tech. I just wanted to go over kind of the setup process for the Antminer S19k Pro. First off, a huge shout out to our sponsors of this build, as this video is part of a build series, so stay tuned, get subscribed to stay up to date. The Bitmain Antminer S19k Pro is available on Altair Tech, which is one of the build sponsors, as well as Unmineable. Huge shout out to them, and thank you for supporting this build, as well as latest miner.web.app. You can check them all out down in the description. But we have the Bitmain Antminer S19k Pro with us already, just added to the network. There's two ways we can try to find it. One is with Angry IP Scanner. There's a bunch of different tools that you can use for finding a device on your network. The Angry IP Scanner is one of them. The other one is obviously your router. Obviously be careful what you do, but we can see the Antminer is right here under this IP, so we're going to go to that IP right now. And now the default login for this particular device is as follows. For Antminer devices specifically, because everybody, obviously WhatsMiner has a different one, but the password and username are both root. So you want to type that in for the username and password, but obviously you want to change that as soon as possible. Here's the default dashboard. You can see that right now we're not really doing anything because we don't have pools or anything set up. This is the default control board that will come on your S19k Pro. But stay tuned because I will have an update. Once you're in your dashboard, it's just a matter of updating. First thing I would always do is change the password. So current password is root. Change it to whatever you would like and make it extra secure. Just FYI, once you do change your password, there's going to be a little pop-up that's going to require you to sign back in. Then right below in the system section is firmware upgrade. We don't have any firmware that we want to upgrade. And plus, as I said, there's going to be an update coming soon, so stay tuned for that. IP setting will allow us to adjust the IP if we wanted to. If we wanted to set it to a static IP, which I do set up my network that way. At least specific devices, I would assign them a static IP. So we can set that, and you can even change the host name to whatever you want. So you can name it whatever you would like, in particular to your network, just so you know what that device is, and it will automatically pick up on the network. So just change it to whatever you want. Now, settings. Obviously, here we can set up the pool. So we need to pull in the pool address, the miner name, and the password. Now, that varies from pool to pool, so go with whatever your specified settings is. And you can see in the lower right-hand side, no matter which tab we are on, from my understanding or my visual that you can see here, there's a reset factory setting. So we could always restart the miner and go back to factory down here in the bottom right. Antminer makes it super easy compared to WhatsMiner, but they both have their pros and cons. So let's go find some pools and plug these in. Now I always use miner pool stats or miningpoolstats.stream to find the pool. I have some pools that I automatically always go to, but just choose whichever one is best for you. I would kind of weigh out the pros and cons, like look at the fee, the minimum payout, which is right here down this middle row, the minimum payout, the fees per, what's the payment scheme, FPPS, PPLNS, PPS Plus. If you don't know what that means, Son of a Tech did a really good breakdown video on that. But I'm either going to be using Brains Pool, which used to be Slush Pool, Luxor, which I'm probably going to use, or in some cases NiceHash. And NiceHash does pay pretty well with ASIC Boost, so I'm going to put that as one of my first pools just for now, just for some testing, but I won't probably leave that long term. I'll probably be using either Luxor, Brains, or maybe even via BTC. Those are the pools that I'm going to select. Now, how do we get this information? Well, if we go to the websites themselves, they will provide that information. So here we are on Luxor. We click Bitcoin or learn more. We can see more information about that. Here is the stratum that we need, and we're obviously going to need a Bitcoin address. Now, if you're going to use NiceHash, your mining address is different from your wallet address. Do not mine to your wallet address on NiceHash. Get the mining address instead. For Luxor and via BTC and Brains Pool, you just need your Bitcoin address, and you can generate that with a number of Bitcoin wallets out there. You can use a Coinbase wallet or a centralized exchange wallet, but I don't recommend that. You can use a hardware wallet like Trezor or Ledger, whichever you prefer. If you don't know which wallet to use for mining Bitcoin, make sure you check out my video about storing your cryptocurrency securely and safely. Remember, not your keys, not your coins. So if you are using a centralized exchange like Coinbase to mine to, if that Coinbase or exchange or centralized entity goes down, you will lose all your funds. So now I'm plugging in my miner name is my wallet address. Password, we can make it whatever you want it to be. It really depends on the pool. In this case, for the pools that we're going to be setting as 1, 2, and 3, I'm not really too concerned about it, but we're going to copy this stratum from Luxor, and we're going to use a Bitcoin wallet address that I already have set for my What's miner. And in some cases, you can put your worker name after. It could be like dot, worker name, whatever you want it to be. This case, I'm just going to leave it alone. Sometimes some pools want the worker name to be in the password, so we can make it whatever we want. We can say S19k, just in case that pool supports it. And then the third pool, I'm probably going to use Brains pool instead. So let's go there. Log on in. And for pools like this that require a logon, like Luxor as well, you can always go to your workers, connect worker, and it will provide you all the information you need. So again, copying the stratum or pool. Then we need to put in our wallet address, which is going to be the same that I already am using for Luxor. So that's good. And then a password. And now fan speeds at 100%. Normal mode, we got sleep or normal. So normal is just standard power. Sleep is probably going to be like low power mode. I am not sure because this is brand new to me. We're going to go ahead and hit save on this, and then we're going to give it some time, and we should start seeing some hash rate on whatever pool I start to mine on. Now, why do you have 3 pools and 3 different pools? Sometimes a pool fails. Sometimes a pool has issues, and so rather than sitting there trying to hash away on the first pool, it's going to automatically switch to the second. If that one fails, then it's automatically switch to the third. Now, you don't want to auto switch between all 3 pools very often, because then you never hit the minimum threshold or payout limit, which I mentioned on the mining pool stats.stream. You can see here, for example, on Altair Tech, there's not one, but on Brains it says 0.001. I think Altair Tech is 0.001. I'm not sure why it doesn't say it here, but compared to like Ant Pool or F2 Pool, it's 0.005. So if you're a small miner and you only have a single ASIC, it's going to take you a long time to get to that 0.005. So maybe Brains or Trust Pool or even via BTC is a better option for you, just because you want to hit that minimum threshold. But we're going to leave the fans alone. We could change the speed if we wanted to. We're going to leave it right where it is. And now it's just a matter of watching the dashboard. You can see already our pool connection status, normal. It already auto-detected difficulty, and priority for it is 0. That's my first pool. Priority 1 is my second pool. Priority 2 is my third pool. And then you start to eventually see accepted shares, rejected shares, stale shares, all that good stuff over time, and this graph will eventually populate over time. Scrolling on down, we could see the number of chips, hardware error, and frequency. I'm going to give this thing some time. We can see the inlet temperature and outlet temperature. So that's the front of the machine is the inlet temperature, the back of the machine is the outlet temperature. Chip state normal, same thing as far as power. And then fan speeds, we're seeing looks like 7,000 at the front side of the machine, and then almost 6,000 on the back side. So the front's doing a lot of pushing in the air, backside's pulling a lot of that air, kind of like a push-pull on either side. So we just need to give this some time, and I'll bring you right back to see where we are at and where we settle at for the stock edition, right? Non-modified, fresh out the factory from Bitmain, Antminer S19k Pro. Just a quick update. After 1 minute, the miner hash rate is showing locally, and it's going to take some time for it to reflect at the pool and for this chart to update. But you can see if we scroll down, we're seeing the chips, temperatures, inlet and outlet temperatures increase as well. We have 77 chips per board running at a frequency of 590. There's a little bit of tuning that we can do with this particular ASIC, as well as a different firmware we can apply. But again, stay tuned to the channel, because I have an update coming in the future. Now, the fan speeds did slow down once the miner started going, so it's not as loud and annoying. But let me take you over there so you can hear what this miner sounds like, and then we'll bring you back for the final hash rate before we wrap. All right, so we're almost 4 feet away from the ASIC. I am unfortunately not going to turn off the dry cooler, which you can hear. It's a little bit bassier or deeper. That is the sound of the ASIC. I'm going to let you take a quick listen. And we're reaching the limits of my 30 amp breaker because we have the What's Miner, the C1 Immersion kit from Foghashing, and the S19k Pro on this PDU. So definitely gonna need 2 for the future upgrade. But let's go back and check on the hash rate. Now real quick before we wrap up, as the hash rate continues to climb and level off, not only at the pool but on the dashboard, the logs are very important to you and you need to make sure you're monitoring. So when you're on your main dashboard and logged in, look in the bottom left hand corner, click on miner log, and there's 3 tabs at the top: current log, history log, and then you can download logs. And if I select a number of these or all of these, I can download those logs and debug them, go through them, just confirm that everything is working, because these logs can tell you a lot of information about the miner itself, especially if it's having issues. So these logs are very important and may not be important for the day-to-day average end user, but they're very important. And once you start to understand and start decoding these just by looking at it, you can see a lot of things, what's going on, and spot any errors or any issues that might present itself in the future. So logs are very important, and I would suggest every user get used to reading them and kind of understanding them, or doing their best to understand them. Now it's been about 30 minutes and we're stabilized around 122 terahash. This is 2 terahash above the actual marketing page, right? They have 2 models, 120 terahash, 115 terahash. So this one's doing 2 terahash more. And it's supposed to be around 27, I would say 2800 watts or 23 joules per terahash. But my meter that you saw next to where the rig is at is not working. I mean, I can see the amps, I just can't see the watts. And unfortunately, on this page by Amp Miner, there's nowhere on here where it tells you the watts, unlike the What's Miner, where I can visibly see I'm pulling around 3600 watts on this particular model. So I wish Antminer had that included. I think with different control boards we can do that, but again, stay tuned for an upgrade that I'm gonna be doing in the future. Now this graph here is just the chain's rate. So that's your different boards. There's 3 boards in this thing, and they're all doing about 40 terahash per board, as you can see here, ranging from 39 to 41 terahash per board. You can see the thermals where they are as far as inlet, outlet temps and stuff like that. The frequency is stabilized at 590, and we got 1 error rate, but all 77 chips on each board just hashing away, doing pretty good. So this thing is stabilized and it's good. It's running good. As far as power draw goes, a little bit over the 28-ish, 2800-ish, watts, but at the pool level, and by the way, I forgot, this pool also wants you to name it a specific way as well. You can see it's unnamed, it says default. I forgot that you just, after the wallet address, you just put dot and then the worker name and it's fine. But it's showing close to the hash rate that it should be. So locally 122 terahash, eventually that will show at the pool level. But we just want to make sure that the miner is not only showing locally the correct hash rate, but also at the pool. So just monitor that. If you let it sit, 30-minute mark should be good. And then power draw, we're around 3000 watts, right? So with the C1 Foghashing kit plus the What's Miner at 3600 watts, we're pulling like 16.2 something amps. So 16.28 minus that from, it actually dropped down from what you just saw when we were out there, from around 29.06 amps down to only 28.82 amps. And I minus that, and we're sitting right now around 3000 watts. So we're getting 2 extra terahash, but we're drawing almost 200 watts above where the marketing target is. However, I'm sure with some fine tuning, some firmware, we can adjust it even further, different control board, But all that to come in future videos on the channel. But again, a huge thanks to Altair Tech, Unmineable, and the latest miner.web.app, where you can find out what the latest miner is for your particular GPUs or whatever your favorite miner is. There's all kinds out there. Huge shout out to them for helping support this build as we progress forward and towards the final revision. Stay tuned for updates like that. Hit the like button on the way out. Make sure to get subscribed and hit the notification bell to stay up to date, as well as check out links in the description to help support the channel and what we do here. And I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.